Typically, we like to keep the helmet because it's pretty easy to keep, and then give it to the patient afterwards and really let them know, look, at your helmet saved your life. Scroll back just through this a little bit. Now, we're not going to watch the full thing because it's 18 freaking minutes long. Here we go, everybody. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about this motorcycle crash. Okay, this is a pretty bad crash. This person right here is going to be the person that's going to witness, help out the victim. We're going to be going over exactly what happened, how it happened, and then what this person did. This person did an amazing job when it came to rescuing this rider. So you see how he's riding. Look at the environment that we're in. We have a mountain. We have all these other issues. You know, if you fall, you crash, all these different things. Pretty bad for you. So you notice we got some motorcycle riders, a bunch of motorcycle riders over here and there. Let's go ahead and move forward. So here it is. So when I was hanging out at the Vista Point, I noticed somebody crash down the hill. So he's up on the top. He sees somebody downhill. So he's going to go ahead and start his assessment pretty much from that position. Okay, so he's going to recognize that somebody's hurt. He's going to go out and rescue that person. So he headed down to the rider that crashed. Now remember, you got to remain calm, right? You got to remain calm, because if you don't, you're going to go ahead and crash yourself. Now this person right here says he was slowing down, saying to slow down because something happened. So this rider probably passed that rider that crashed and didn't do anything about it. All right, so we're going to get closer and closer and closer. And we got a bunch of U-turn type turns. We're getting around here. And let's go ahead and take a look at how everything's at. These wide open corners. Look at the road. All right, so now we're pulling up to here. Look at what everything's happening. So at this point, we need to remain calm. We need to ensure our own safety. See how it's around a blind corner? That's not a good thing at all. So this person's sitting up. Okay, not too bad, but look at the blood on the ground. So we have a little bit of blood. We don't know exactly where the impact was, but we can go ahead and determine a little bit of his consciousness and the severity of the injuries. So a little bit of blood on the ground, not too bad. It's not like it's leaking everywhere. It's not like he's, having trouble breathing. So right away, we're going to go ahead and ensure and safety, but remain calm and call 911. So we're going to call 911, and this is a good time to start getting your gloves on and opening up your rescue kit, okay? So that woman over there, she could be the one calling 911. And this right here is what I really like. He's utilizing what is available.
Yeah, I'm reporting a motorcycle accident right here coming up the 74 highway.
Very good.
Cross off of the 74.
It's just the trail to come up to the 74 towards the Vista Point.
Very good. So he's going to utilize that structure to block traffic.
Okay.
So he's the first one to call 911. He's ensuring his own safety.
Accident.
All right. And did you witness it, or were you just driving by? 74, right?
Yeah, I was right here at the Vista Point, and then I heard the motorcycle start revving all crazy and like a crash, and I came down, and yes, the guys right.
Do you think that sounds like revving all crazy? Maybe low side, high side?
Motorcycle as well. I don't know exactly the location, but it's midway to the Vista Point.
All right, yeah, we have.
So a mile marker would be very helpful right there.
Your name?
My name is Jonathan.
Cell phone number 413.
Yes.
Okay, help.
Okay, real quick, you notice how the dispatcher wanted to have his name and callback number. That's very important, so do not hang up until you give that to the dispatcher.
It's underway. That person are they up or they're still laying down?
He's laying down.
Are you next to him?
Yes, I'm right here next to him.
Okay, and was there somebody else there with him?
No, just him. Just him.
You?
There's somebody else on the phone across the street, a little bit down.
Yes, that is blood.
All right, but you're next to the person injured, correct?
Yes, I'm right next to the person.
All right, Jonathan, hold on, let me get the paramedics, don't hang up.
Huh?
Don't hang up, because he has to call. He's calling emergency services right now. He's basically putting you on hold to do that.
Fire department, what's the address emergency? Please do the transfer for the TC on the 74.
He's got a full face helmet. Looks like regular jeans.
Okay, copy. Jonathan?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Jonathan. This is the fire department. We do have help on the way there. Are you with the patient now?
Yes, I am with him right now.
Okay. All right. Tell me exactly what happened, sir.
Look at his knee.
I'm not exactly sure. He was coming down the hill. I was on the Vista Point, and then I just heard an accident, something crashed. and then the motorcycle is like maybe about 25 feet away, maybe 30.
How many people are injured?
Just one.
Are there any other chemicals or hazards involved?
The motorcycle is spilling. I'm not sure if it's gas or if it's just oil.
Got some abrasions and tearing in his
Other
pant
than
legs,
that,
but his
there's
left
just
knee
a
looks
lot
like
of, pieces all over the road.
it's the most damaged.
Okay, is anyone pinned?
No.
Okay. Does everyone appear to be completely awake?
So that red is
he's
probably his
completely
undies.
awake.
Okay, are there any obvious injuries?
You see how he's moving his head around?
Completely
That's not
torn
good for
apart.
his spine.
Okay.
His knee is completely open.
You need a first aid kit?
Alright.
No, nothing more.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, don't move.
You need a first aid kit?
Don't move.
Okay.
Don't move.
This is called a trauma kit, though.
Not split any injuries, do not move unless he's in danger.
Okay.
For everyone's safety, just stand well clear of approaching traffic, and if safe to do so, turn on any flashing hazard lights, okay?
When it's safe to do so.
Okay.
From now on, excuse me, don't have anything to eat or drink. Might make him sick or cause further problems. Don't move unless it's absolutely necessary. Have him be still and wait for help to arrive, okay?
Okay.
So if you don't know what to do in case of an accident like this, listen to dispatch. They are literally going to walk you through it. That's what the rescue card is all about. It's telling you to ensure your own safety, making sure things are okay. Don't have anything to eat or drink. It could cause him to vomit, which will aspirate into his airway. Same thing with complications for surgery. So be very careful with that.
Alright, do watch him very closely. If he becomes less awake and vomits, look at turn him on his side.
Okay. Yeah.
So he looks a little
Yeah,
frazzled,
there's a
which is
guy
going to be normal,
here,
okay?
That has like.
You see how he's just all over the place? He's just opening things up. That's
Yeah,
Just.
adrenaline kicking in.
we don't want to split any injuries or anything else, okay?
Okay. Yeah. The paramedics is saying to not just let him be.
Let him be?
Yeah. We don't.
Yeah, we don't want to split anything. We don't want to move anything right now.
Yeah, because we don't know exactly what. Okay.
Just continue to keep talking to the rider.
So what he's doing is dispatch is basically saying if you don't have any training, don't mess with it.
Flashing hazard
But
lights, wave down the paramedics.
we should be getting training, right?
Which will call us back immediately for further instructions.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
they're on the way, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Something under your head?
Alright, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
You can at least make him a little comfortable.
Okay.
All right, so let's just look at what the scene is happening here. Okay, we're off with dispatch. Now it's really us. So what can we do? Does he have any major bleeds? Is he having trouble breathing? Does he remember everything? Are we safe? He seems pretty calm for this incident. You see how there's people coming around the corner?
Good luck, God bless you.
This is why you need to have somebody around the corner directing traffic.
I was just coming down my second trip already. I was gonna go and get.
Shepard, exactly. None of the bleeding appears to be excessive. I would try to maintain C-spine control and get him to remain calm. Exactly. That's all you can do in this situation. If the bleeding has pretty much stopped itself, that's good. That's real good. All of a sudden, it's going to be a big jump forward. And this is where EMS shows up. And I'm going to go ahead and describe some of the stuff that is happening from their point of view, because this is stuff that I used to do. Then I'm going to go ahead and go back and talk about what you can do prior to these people showing up and how it's going to assist them. So let's go ahead and go forward a little bit. You notice how they have their PPE on. They have a heart rate monitor, so that's going to do a lot of the vitals, so blood pressure, pulse ox. It can even do a 3-lead, maybe even a 12-lead if they want to, so they can check his heart. Let's see what this guy's doing right here. So he's cutting his gear. So you notice where he's cutting it, though. So he's going to cut it on the top. Now it's going to open it up like a fillet. I like to cut it along the side so I can put it right back as a blanket. But each rescue kit comes with a pair of trauma shears. So that's what he's using right now. Okay, so you see where the truck is way back there? That is blocking traffic. People hit that, it's going to damage the truck, not hurt us. So think about where you're going to park your vehicle or where you're going to stage somebody to help assist with that. Okay, so now the EMS is on scene. They're doing their thing. He's going to go ahead and start removing some stuff because now you're going to have an ambulance pull up. The bike looks pretty destroyed, so think about his body. And he's taking a look at it. He's like, man, that's crazy. So I don't know what he's going to do. I think he's going to try to turn it off. Don't move anything because you have to realize that there's metal pieces that have been bent, been broken, and that means they're sharp. Okay, so they're not polished edges. No real use of putting it off to the side. I would leave that for an accident investigation. Or I would leave after this point. because EMS is on scene. I'd be asking if they need any more help because of low resources. So what he's going to do is he's going to go ahead and put some dirt on top of the fluids. Now you can do that if you want. If it was on fire, that's a good way of putting out a fire, maybe using a little bit more dirt. But what he's doing is basically just absorbing it, and then that way nobody slips and trips on it, because that's part of ensuring your own safety. You don't want to slip and trip. So that's what he's doing here. He's doing what he feels like he possibly can. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a smart rider. He came back to assist, and he's doing a great job rescuing this rider. So putting some stuff up, you see how Highway Patrol is positioned that way. All right. So right here, what you see is the heart rate monitor being in full use. They have exposed the patient. That's why they're going to go ahead and go down from head to toe. They're going to check for any decap, BTLS, deformities, contusions, abrasions, punctures, tenderness, lacerations. I think I forgot burns, and then swelling. That's what they're checking for everything. So they're going to check his head, neck, back, chest, arms, legs, pelvis. And I know I'm skipping around, but foot, shin, all those things. And making sure that there's nothing crazy that is going to be life-threatening. They're trying to get his vitals with the... Let's go and get my pen out. They got his vitals. They got blood pressure, pulse ox. They got the 3 leads started. They got one right there, one right there. So these might be EMTs. It's a fire engine, so maybe it's EMTs, but there might be one paramedic. Looks like that's a C-spine bag, so that's why he has a C-spine collar. So inside of here, you're going to have tape, more collars, and maybe a pediatric collar, and then some other accessories that you need for a backboard. This is going to be their, it could be an airway bag or an EMS bag, so you're going to have all the bleeding control. But you notice how you're just like kind of throwing things on the ground? Well, that's his license plate. So when you're on scene, you're just opening things up and kind of tossing it on the ground. You don't need to shove it in your pocket, because if you have blood on your hands and you shove it in your pocket, now you got blood all over your clothes. So you just kind of throw the wrappers on the ground, pick it up afterwards. But they're starting to do the work on him. And right now he seems pretty stable because they're not having to work too hard for his airway. And it doesn't look like they're trying to stop any major bleeds. They're just trying to get vital signs. You got EMS already, so you got the ambulance right there. I'm going to try to pause it when I get a good look. So now what's happening is he's doing an accident investigation right here. He's doing an accident investigation. He's trying to determine like what happened, and then getting some information so that they can make contact with family members. Firefighters right there are just trying to make sure this guy stays alive. But you see how he's exposed, completely exposed. The only thing that's not completely open is the underwear. But you see his shirt's gone, his pants are kind of gone, and they're focusing mainly on that left leg. So left leg looks pretty damaged right there. Not too bad. It could be bleeding pretty heavily, but we're going to go ahead and skip forward just a little bit because there's only so much they can do on scene. Now they got a backboard coming in right here. And what they're going to do is move it off to the side. Now I want you guys to see how they move the patient. They're going to do a log roll and then get him on the backboard. Now if you notice, it's going to take multiple people to do it. So if you're by yourself and you can't do it safely, don't do it. Just don't do it, because the main thing is trying to protect their spine. So they're putting the arms together. He's getting ready with the legs at the base. He's getting the backboard set up. And when they lift it up, they want to get the gurney right here set up so they can lift it up and slide the gurney underneath. So they're going to roll towards the uninjured leg. So if they roll the other way, it's going to be landing on his leg. Pretty painful. So they're going to roll it onto the right leg where it's less injury. Oh, they just go ahead and... They skipped it, but yeah, whatever. So they're going to get him on the backboard. Highway Patrol is asking, were you speeding, all these other things. And that's just mainly, they're not going to give him a ticket. At least I don't think they will, because this guy's going to have a hospital bill. And typically they're not going to just give you a ticket on top of that. So let's take a look at how they're going to lift the patient. All 4 corners when you have the people and the personnel. This is why you want to move your bike to get away from the working area. And they're going to move him over there and secure him to the backboard. I hope we get a good look at his knee. His left knee is pretty thrashed. And get distracted by that. Get out of the shadows. I want to see the knee. I want to see the knee. I want to see the knee. Get out of the shadow. There's the helmet, completely destroyed. Typically, we like to keep the helmet because it's pretty easy to keep, and then give it to the patient afterwards and really let them know, look, at your helmet saved your life. Okay. There we go. a little bit of a tearing, so maybe he lost his kneecap or got a laceration on the patellar tendon. So then now the patella is kind of flopping around. I don't know if he can use that leg at this point, but that knee is completely destroyed. Now, we all know with gear, you're going to have protective gear right there. You're going to have the impact absorption, so hopefully it's going to minimize that kind of injury. Whew, not good at all. So let's go ahead and go to the beginning again. Not the exact beginning, but let's go ahead and go and see what it is that we can do. I wanted to explain what they do because it's very important to know the job above and below what you're supposed to be doing. That way, you're able to assist and get the people prepped and ready for the people next in line to take care of it. It's called the chain of survival, and it's very important. Okay, so right here, we're coming up to the scene. We are going to do a quick assessment. Remember, we have to remain calm, so that's a big thing. So let's go ahead and make me big right here. There we go. So we got to remain calm right here. So we're going to call 911, and or we can tell someone to call 911. So if you have the medical training, there's this lady right here that you can say, hey, go ahead and call 911. That way you can actually start using your medical training. Another thing is to make sure you ensure your own safety. So look for hazards and wear PPE. Inside the rescue kit, we do have 2 different sets of gloves. We have a medium and XL, but please put some more of the size that fits you best. Medium and XL pretty much will solve anybody's problem unless you have like super small hands or super large hands. So make sure we look for hazards and wear PPE, and we want to stop the bleeding. So any major bleeds, really. We have plenty of bleeding control inside the kit. We have 2 tourniquets and lots of 4x4s and 5x9 abdominal pads. And then we also have triangular bandages. I mean, we have everything. And then also the same card right here. It's the rescue card that's inside the kit. So to make sure you guys grab one of these, link will be in the description. But we want to make sure that we stop any major bleeds. And then right here, we have to make sure we pay attention to this. So this is very important. We need to make sure they don't have any head injuries. And if they do, this is now we know what it looks like. Spinal cord injury, shock symptoms, and this is what the treatment is. So basically, any of these situations here, we need to get them to the hospital as quick as possible. So this is why we need to call 911 as quick as possible, okay? So we're going to go ahead and move forward right here. And he's kind of sitting up. So that's going to give you a good idea that, hey, he's at least conscious. Okay, good. Woman is right here. Tell her to call 911. Or give her your phone to call 911. Or use your Cardo Pack Talk to call 911 and keep your hands free. So right here, you can see on the ground, there's a little bit of blood. Don't get distracted by it. Don't get distracted by it, because it'll start to make you panic a little bit. So there's his knee, a little bit torn up. So that right there is definitely level 3, maybe even level 4 road rash. And what that means is that he tore flesh away from his body while skidding across the ground. It's not good. Probably can't move it too well, but look at where the tearing and look at where the damage to the knee is. Once again, to be a smart rider, you need to acquire and utilize personal protective equipment, because your bike is going to get destroyed, but hopefully your body isn't. So imagine losing work because of this, or having a disability because of this. So he's kind of moving around. That means his heart is still pumping blood to his brain and to his extremities. It's not coming out of his body, so that's good, but we don't know if it's staying in his body, so that's my concern right now. My other concern is a spinal injury. So whenever there's a motorcycle accident like this, there's a possibility of a spinal injury, a high possibility. Same thing with a concussion. Your head's going to jostle around inside of that helmet, so be very careful when you're actually working with this guy, because he's going to want to get on the bike. He's going to get combative, and that's what we talk about right here. You know, head injury symptoms, disorientation, nausea, vomiting, vision impairment, loss of balance, or persistent headache. So those are things you want to watch out for. Kind of moving around a little bit. He's going to call 911. So once again, if you have the medical training and there's only 2 of you, including this woman, tell her to call 911 with your phone and start talking to dispatch. Now, we got to hear what he had to say with dispatch. That was an amazing job by dispatch, an amazing job by this rider. But if that person right there is doing the calling, now it's our job to kind of check and see what's happening here. So what we can do is lay the patient down. We want to keep him out of the roadway, but lay the patient down and actually start doing an assessment. Go from head to toe, okay? So start checking the head, start checking the chest, start checking the arms. Only after you ask for permission. That's a big thing, okay? So make sure you get his permission to actually touch him. If he doesn't want you to touch him, but he's okay with answering questions, please start asking questions. So a good question would be, you know, do you remember what happened? Do you know where you are? What is your name? Do you have a wallet so I can check your ID and maybe call somebody? what bike are you riding, and you can kind of get an idea for the bike. You can do pretty much anything. Who's the president of the United States? Something that you already know the information of. You know, what mountain are we on? What road are you on? Those are very good ones. Do you have any pain anywhere? It's pretty obvious he's going to have pain in his left leg, but who knows? He could be saying, my back is really hurting me. You know, you're looking at his knee, it's all torn up, but he's like, my back is really hurting me. That's going to let you know there's going to be an injury to his back, which is possibly the spinal cord, which, you know, right there. So loss of sensation. So when you hear I have back pain, you can say, hey, can you feel this in your arms? Can you feel this in your legs? Then you start, you know, touching his arms. You know, do you have any tingling in your hands or feet? Can you move your arms? Do you have any pain? He obviously said his back. So those are things that you can ask if he says, I have back pain. Now, if he says, I have a headache, maybe a head injury. Or if he starts to look like he just got out of a shower, that's how pale and cool and clammy that is. Literally just out of the shower, drenched in water. Like they just jumped in the pool and got out. That is what a shocky symptom looks like, okay? So pay attention to that. Make sure that if they're anxious, that could be normal. But nausea, shallow breathing, rapid pulse, no buenos, okay? We're going to get through here with all that information we gathered just walking up to this. It's very important. Now, once again, you want to make sure that you stay safe. So he's trying to wave people down. Nobody's stopping by. So be a smart rider, be a crew member, and actually rescue another rider. Now, he did a great job. He grabbed that little barrier and put it over here. So he's going to ensure his own safety because you need to make sure you're doing that. There's not much we can do for the patient outside of covering up the injury. So what you can do is actually open this up. There's an absorbent pad. You can put it on top of his knee because we don't want to get debris and nasty stuff in there. And then you can get one of your roll gauze that everything's enclosed, so make sure you open it up when you get one and wrap it. So that way you can keep your hands free and keep the injury covered. So you don't want any flies. You want nothing really to really get a hold of that, because then you start having infections. And then if it starts bleeding, hopefully it will catch it. So go ahead and start doing that. And that's pretty much all you can do in this situation. We usually see people like squirting blood and everything, and that's why we have tourniquets inside of our kits. But be very careful when it comes to this. This is a reality. This is a reality for motorcycle riding. If you're riding in a group, make sure that at least one of you is trained. If you're riding by yourself, make sure you know how to use this on yourself. Know exactly where you're at in terms of what road and what you can do to stay safe. Okay, so the main thing is being situationally aware, so that we know that we're not gonna go fast and we're not gonna do stupid stuff. Maintain your fundamental skills. That way we know how to brake, we know how to corner, we know how to swerve, we know how to do all the things that we need to do. Wear gear so we don't have a massive injury to our leg like this guy right here. Very, very important. Rescue another rider is part of it. Okay, the first three is to prevent an accident and to mitigate injuries. But this last one, rescue another rider, is to hopefully save somebody's life. And then mentor, teachers and mentors, to really prevent the next person from having an issue like this. If you like today's video, make sure you click this video right here to keep watching more. But if you want to become a smart rider, click this and grab this Smart Rider Basic Training ebook. It's going to help you become a smart rider by planning your ride, rescuing other riders, knowing what patterns to look for, and so much more. Make sure you grab it. Link will be in the description also. I'll be seeing you around.